Welcome, strategy gamers, to the insanely good game of Mechabellum. This is a game that has absolutely blown my mind. I really wasn't expecting it to be anywhere near as strategic. It's incredible. It's very, very popular. I see that the people who actually play it an awful lot, which is always a good sign. But yeah, it's just amazingly good. So I thought I'd actually, and a bit late to the party with this, I wasn't going to really invest the time in trying to look at the game for the simple reason I thought it was going to be fairly superficial. It looked great, but that often when games look great doesn't mean that they play great. I can assure you this game plays incredibly well. So I'm going to be doing a reasonably deep dive through not a mini game, but an actual game just against a bot. That way I can sort of stop and show you different things before each battle does take place. So it is an auto battler, which is what turned me off in one sense, because I thought if it's an auto battler, you just set up your guys and then away you go, and then just see who wins, and that's the end of it. But no, this game has got like rounds that really exponentially change the strategic outlook of the game. Brilliantly done, absolutely brilliantly done. So if that's all you need, I'll see you later. It's got massive thumbs up from me. It really is amazingly good. The battles themselves take a very, very short period of time. There's so many different ways of playing the game. There's, as I say, a very rich community, and it's a community I don't think will die off either. I think it's the game is so good. It's so like strategic on a chess level as well as just on a fun level. It's just combines so many things so well. And if you don't like the deep strategic aspect of it, you don't have to play it that way. You can play it very superficially as well. It really satisfies everybody's needs. Like, if you're a very, very raw beginner, not really into strategy games, and you just want to play with some robots and have some fun, it's fine for that as well. It really is incredible what they've actually done. I haven't sold it yet because I need to show you how it actually does work. You've got a whole heap of different ways of playing. Now, the main way of playing is through multiplayer, but I'm not going to be playing multiplayer. I'm going to be playing what multiplayer is like, but against bots. And the main difference there is that when you play against a player, you've got 90 seconds between your turns, which is enough time to think through what you need to do, make your decisions, and then get ready for the next round. But if you're trying to explain it, which is what I'm going to be doing, that will be just way too short. So I'm going to be going through and actually this is going to be a very, very deep explanation of my thought process, and I'm pretty much a newish sort of player. But having said that, I do play a lot of strategy games, as you'd expect. So I do appreciate when I see a game that does things just incredibly well. And I now know enough about the game to be able to make basic choices. So I'm going to be sort of presenting those to you as well, giving you whatever tips I possibly can. So multiplayer is the base game. Solo is what we're going to be playing. But there are actually tournaments that run as well, where you end up with multiplayer tournaments around the world. You can see there's different sorts of things in through here. I should point out back over here, you've got like different sorts of servers. And so what these are not regions of the world. These are language servers. And so you can see the 501 division, which is what I've gone into. I've got 96% English, a little bit of German, then Russian, etc., as we go through each of these. So they've got this is predominantly the German one, the 301, the 401 is Russian, the 101 is French, and the 201 is Chinese. So they're the different sorts of servers that we actually have available. Anyway, that's where I am at this point in time. So I'll just stick there because I know what I'm saying. Having said that, there is a chat which I have turned off because there's often sort of like lewd comments and comments that I wouldn't really want to be showing on a video. So I have to actually turn that off. But there is an in-game chat if you do sort of want to be using that one. It's typical gamer chat, which to be honest I don't like. It's not something I've ever warmed to. Like a lot of it seems pretty juvenile, so I have got that turned off, and I probably will keep it turned off. I don't see any good reason for me to do anything with that one. As I say, like this is just the home page, and through this other side you'll see things like the community challenges, the community guide, the wiki, register as a streamer, which I have now done. So I've sort of now I'm going to be streaming this at some point, I think, and hopefully then I'll be able to sort of set up some games against you guys if you happen to watch me on Twitch. So if we've got that, but anyway, that's where we are with this particular screen itself. It does go through the different updates where there's just they make little tweaks to try to keep it as balanced as possible. And normally I don't like balanced games, but with a game like this, it really matters because of the way that the game is structured. You'll see that when we get into it. You've got tournaments, as we can sort of see across the side there. Unit modification. Now, what this is really cool for is to go and have a look at different units to try to figure out, okay, well, what does it do? How does it upgrade? I'll just show you one example. Let's just go in and go to the unit modification. These are the current mix of different types of units that you have, and they go from very, very big units, like very expensive units, down to very, very cheap units, like for example the crawler unit down through here. And they all do different sorts of things. Like if we choose, for example, the sledgehammer, which is sort of like a heavy tank, and we just go and click on that one. So we get the graphics in through this other side. We get the price of how much it is, what the speed is, all this sort of stuff. There's 5 units per unit that you actually there's 5 units per group that you sort of then when you purchase them. So each one of these is worth 40. So they're worth 40 points or price points back up through there. You've got these different upgrades that you can then sort of go and do, like damage sharing, for example. And if I go and click on that one through there, it would then sort of show me the differences, or it should show me the differences somewhere. Actually, no, I've just sort of pulled that one out. But it does give you information, so you can actually study about certain loadouts that you may want to go into the game with, which is actually quite interesting because it's the combination of the units that makes all the difference in the game and the placement. So let's just go and go back. You can actually just hide the user interface if you just want to have a look at the unit itself, but anyway, that's where we are, and each unit actually has these. So, for example, the typical unit that you will get is the crawler, which is a very, very small. You can see there you get heaps of them, 24 per stack, and they're sort of almost in little sort of subgroups as well when you can do different things with them. And these have got like things, for example, where they can actually replicate, or subterranean blitz, where they can sort of tunnel underground and then appear in front of the enemy. These are incredibly useful, but for different sorts of reasons. So when you're playing the game, you need to look at what the enemy is doing and then try to figure out, how do I counter that particular attack that they've got? And hopefully I'll be able to do that in this particular episode. That's what my goal is in here anyway. So these are the smallest of the mech units that you actually do have. They've got high speed, 16 meters per second. As I say, the different upgrades, these all cost points or money as you sort of developing into the actual game itself. We'll just go back again, and now because they're so swarmed, if you go in with something like a sledgehammer, the sledgehammer has got an attack where it does do a little bit of splash damage, but not enough, and so you need something with high splash damage to be able to counter those small units. So for example, if a lot of people swear by which one is it? The marksman. This unit in through here. This is a long range sniper unit basically, and it's got no splash damage, which means that the small bots, the tiny little bots, are ideal for sending against these sorts of units if you can get them close enough. So when you start to see someone specializing in something, you then need to go back and think, okay, how do I counter that specialization? So if you start to see a lot of marksmen, you're going to be getting a lot of crawlers to counter that. If you see a lot of crawlers, you're going to then be going across to arclights, which is a sort of a fairly cheap bot that has got a lot of good splash damage in through here. So this one can rip through the crawlers, and this is mainly, so if you see a hell of a lot of crawlers, grab arc lights, or you can actually just go back and grab the sledgehammers. As I say, these are quite cool as well. So they sort of both do good sort of what they call crowd control, which is to go after the smallish units. But yeah, it's an incredibly well done game. Let's go back. You've got different replays you can save as well. I was almost thinking of actually recording a replay, and just doing this whole thing through a replay, so I can actually pause, go in slow-mo, show you exactly what's happening attack by attack, but that might be too much. Let me know in the comments down below if you are interested in me doing a play like that, where I can actually go through the detail of every single battle, even just pulling apart a single battle towards maybe the end of the rounds, just so I can go through in detail. I might even add that in. I'll see how I go, because I think that would be quite interesting to sort of see the play and counterplay that goes on in the game. All right, let's go back out to, actually I might just quickly show the menu and the settings. So you've got your standard sort of graphic settings. You've got your audio settings, which are fairly standard. Your controls, so pan the camera when the mouse is on the edge. Allow movement of the mouse. It's very, very simple. A language and chat. This is interesting, where it's got like automatic chat translation. If it can do it, it will then translate across into your native language. Stream of registration in there. So I've done that. So I'm now sort of approved and ready for streaming. So I'm not sure what benefits I get with that one, but I'll sort of see how that one does go. And then you've got sort of other things in through here as well. So it's fairly bare bones, but it again, it's just got the standard sort of stuff. Let's go to solo mode. Now again in solo mode, hang on, let's just go back there. We've got a few different things we can do through here. Now this is complete a series of tutorial stages and improve from a rookie to an excellent commander. These are okay. They certainly give you a bit of a feel for how to play the game. They don't really give you a feel for how to strategically think through the game. So I'm hopefully going to be sort of going through that in this particular episode. You've got survival mode. Now this is a good way to learn the different types of units, because what tends to happen is that you end up with you've got hordes of enemies coming towards you, and you then have to use a mix of different forces yourself to then try to defend your territory, which is, as I say, fairly interesting the way that one does work. You've got community challenges, where you can sort of go through where the community has actually put together different challenges. These can be fairly difficult, but they are there almost like a puzzle type exercise, where you just sort of have like a battle that you're trying to sort of get through. Practice is what we're going to be playing, which is really the practice. It's exactly the same as the multiplayer, so we're going to be doing that one through there. And you've also got a testing grounds where you can sort of test the way that different units might fight against each other. So you've got all the tools at your disposal for learning. So there's no excuse. You should be an expert at this game. Now it's actually really quite it's a game that's easy to play, but very, very difficult to master. And I'm not a master by any stretch, but I will go through my limited knowledge and try to share that. So at least if you're interested in the game, you might get up to, sort of like from crawling to walking reasonably fast, and then from walking to running, you're going to have to learn that yourself, I guess. Anyway, let's go and play a practice game. Now, if you are really just wanting to play very, very basically, play on easy. Normal for your first few games is going to be probably your go-to. That does give you a good challenge. What this one does is it will specialise itself, and I think that I would guess that a lot of human players would be at around about that sort of normal level, which is sort of like where they don't consider the opposition all that well. When we get into hard mode, I find that this particular bot will actually then start to think through and look at what you're doing, and then try to counter what you're doing to a degree. And so this for me is about my level. Insane, I haven't even tried, because I very rarely beat hard. But we're going to be playing on hard mode, just so we can try to then talk about what it's doing, what we need to do, and what we think it will do. So let's go that way. Now, when you first start a game, what actually happens is you're presented with these different sort of randomized starting picks. Now, it shows, and you've got a heap of time playing in practice mode, so you can have a really, really good look. So you've got different specialists across the top through here, with a little combination of different types of bots that you then can have. And you can sort of hover over these to see exactly what's going on. So, for example, if we have a look, I think the most important thing to have a look at really is the specialist that you want to be playing as. And you will end up finding that you've got, like you may want to go that way. So, for example, a cost control specialist, you get an extra 100 supply every round, but the attack of the units is reduced by 13 and the hit points is reduced by 13. Now, this is quite a powerful start, to be honest, with what they've actually got. In this case, we've got that little crawler unit that I was talking about, and we also have the Stormcaller, which is also a good splash damage unit. So this is actually, if we have a look at that one, a very fragile unit that excels at super long range splash damage in a large area. This is like artillery. It's sort of like rocket artillery. It's fairly slow, like any fast moving troops will be able to get underneath it fairly quickly. And so it's hard against crawlers because of the speed of the crawlers. But against big bots or slow bots, it's actually pretty good. It can only fire at ground units, so it's no good against air units. Now, if we went with a crawler and a stormcaller, we've got no protection at all against air. So that would be a big problem for us if they brought, for example, Phoenixes, which is an air and ground, it's a strike aircraft essentially. These are very, very strong in terms of the basic aircraft in the game. And then the Arclight, as I said before, was the counter to the crawlers. This is a Rhino specialist. specialist. So this one here, we get one level 2 rhino on the for free on round 3. So that gives us a very, and the rhino is a massive, like a giant bot, which is a melee bot. It doesn't actually have any ranged weaponry. The supply specialist gain 50 additional supplies per round. This adds up over time, and it really can make the difference quite nicely. This is probably where this is probably one that people would like to go for. We've got, for example, the marksman, which is that same unit that we saw there before, which is the sniper unit plus the Mustang. Now the Mustang is an air and ground attack. It's an high-speed all-purpose tank. Now both the marksman can actually fire at air and ground as well. So this is a very good mix in through here. And so then the Mustang here, we've got 12 Mustangs per stack, which is fairly good. They're almost like a mini version of the not a mini version, but they're sort of like the next level up of the crawlers. I quite like the feel of these. I think this would be a good one to go with. Plus the supply specialist is fairly good. The trouble with this one here is we start with only 3,900 points, and points come off. Like you want to have as many points at the start as you can, sort of, because when you lose battles, whatever the number or point value of the units that are left will then get taken off your score. So we already sort of start a little bit further behind than, for example, the cost control specialist or the aerial specialist. Now, aerial specialist units no longer consume supplies when being unlocked, and their range increased by 10. So they've got so in this case, the Phoenix would have a better attack. So this is actually not too bad as well. So long range, high damage, excels at striking through hit points, targets from afar. So this is actually a very good fighter craft. And then we've got the Fang, which is an all-purpose bot. There's 18 of those in the grouping as well. And so these also have an air and ground attack. So cheap and available in large quantities. It excels at dealing considerable damage at medium and long range to all types of units. So these are fairly good as well. I'm sort of torn between the two of these. This one here, we do start with a lot of points. The Phoenixes can be very hard to counter. I might go with this one because I think that it'd be interesting to see how the AI counters this and then how we counter back. So let's go with the aerial specialist. So we'll go that way. So this is now round 1. Now our units come into the middle of the map, like in through here. We have 200 points to spend on round 1. And you can see there with the supplies when I hover over it, we're going up by 200 every turn. So in this case, we've got 200, next round will be 400, then 600, etc., etc. Now, if we hover over over this one through here, this one's a giant specialist that it's gone for. So giant units no longer consume supplies when being unlocked. So we can expect to see that they will bring in large bots, and we're now then going to need to counter those large bots in different ways. But we'll figure out the best way forward with that. This is the groups of units that we have. The Fangs are down in through here. These are the light all-purpose bots, and then we have our Phoenixes, which are the flying craft, back in through there. On the other side of the map is the enemy. Now they've gone in with these units in through here. These are steel balls, and so the steel ball is a where have we got it? We've got the splash damage of 0. So these really do pick on big bots. This is a high-speed anti-unit bot, and so they've got 2 groups of those. These are going to go after large bots. Now, pretty sure this is only ground only. Yeah, ground only attack. So Phoenixes are going to have a good time against these units, for example. They've also come in with Fangs like us as well, and these are also air and ground, so we have to be a bit careful of those. So what I'm thinking is we need to counter the Fangs, and so because there's so many of them, we want splash damage in that sort of instance. So we've got 200 to spend. It's going to cost me another 200 to get another Phoenix. Now, the temptation will be to go with the one that you know that you're going to ultimately be able to win with initially, but you've really got to think long-term with the game. And so what we want to go with is probably, if we go to the unlocks, I'm thinking of actually getting some what's called arc lights. So if I just click on this one here, we can then unlock, and we can do this many times. So we've got an arc light in through here, which is a standard crowd control bot. This is always a good way to go. So let's go and unlock this guy. And these only cost me 100. So I'm going to grab 2 of these. Now they will be targeted by the balls, by the steel balls. All we need these to do is to get past these other units. These move very quickly. So we're going to have to sort of deal with them up front with these smaller units. So we have to now start thinking, what have they got? How do we counter that? Now we've got 3 of ours against 3 of theirs. I can bring my phoenixes forward a little bit, or depending on what the AI does, we don't know exactly what it will do. I'm going to put all the phoenixes together, and there's a recommended formation as well. You can actually just go and see what other people have actually sort of recommended, and so you've got these different ways of playing the game where they've sort of got like different sort of loadouts. But I won't do that. I'll just do my own. But you can actually make use of those if you're wanting to. It's because you get to lay them out anywhere in your side of the map. Now we've still got the 200 points to spend. Now I can spend them also in shield generators if I need to try to protect different areas of the map, or with sentry missiles. Now sentry missiles, they're not going to be laid out here. They're going to be laid out all over the place. I'll actually bring in 2 arc lights at this point in time. So importantly, playing against a hard bot, I'm trying not to specialize. Even though in my head I'm thinking I want to specialize in phoenixes, but that will be later on when I've got more and more of the supplies to then go and spend. So let's go and deck these out. Even this one here has got like a recommended formations with going with these particular loadouts, which is great that they've got this. What I want to do here though is to actually come in, and I really do need to deal with these first. These are very, very fast, and so we will have to deal with them as well at some point. So let's just go across and click twice, and then we can just move them around. Now, I will be wanting these to sort of get into the middle of the fight. So let's just go and place them in around here, I think. We'll just do one on either side. Or, by the way, I should point out that we've got these here are like the research center, and I can then get specific upgrades at any time just by spending supplies. And this one over through here is the command center, where I can bring in, for example, extra reinforcements at different times as well. So it's very, very detailed the way the game actually does work. Let's bring the fangs across. Now, the fangs are going to have to take on these guys, but I really want them to come in after. If I middle click, I then shuffle them around. I might just put them in behind here so that they sort of split up and do different things. Let's just go and do that. So they'll sort of then end up zipping off in different directions and doing different things. And we'll probably stack one side of the actual map. Let's just stack this side for now. And now at the moment they're not pointing to an actual specific element. And with the phoenixes, I'll bring these in. Now, nothing can actually attack me yet, but they will at some point. So I'm going to bring the phoenixes and use them in the middle, I think, but fairly far back. I'm expecting to lose possibly this first round because of those big balls. Let's just see how we go. So we've now sort of set everything up. I hope I've explained why I've done things. There's no rush. I've got 4,300 to spend. They've actually got more than me. They've got 4,400, which is sort of interesting. Let's end deployment, and we can look at the actual battle itself. So our phoenixes go up. Now they have spread out. The balls are on the outside. They're going to be coming after these unless these guys get in front of these. Yeah, they're targeting there. That one's targeting this main bot. He's not going to last very long. So he's not doing enough damage on the balls. But our phoenixes are getting in. They're going to do a lot of damage in the middle. And unfortunately, he's been now caught up fighting these small guys. These can take down my fighter craft, which they're doing. They're now just going to be destroying this. So we've lost this one fairly badly, this first round. We will do. When that happens, when they take down something, our guys then fight a lot slower with a lot less power, just for about 9 seconds, I think it is. Now we have 400 to spend. So now we can go through and think, okay, well, what else do we want? We've got another, again, 50 additional supplies per round. Really, that pays for itself so fast. So I think we might go that way. We can immediately recruit a level 5 crawler. We don't need to do that at this stage. So I think we'll actually, we'll go with the supply specialist. We don't have to. We can actually just skip on those. And so now we get to see where we laid them all out stays where it actually is. So we've actually now got them all laid out through here. We can see where they were. They can already upgrade, and that's the only one that can actually upgrade. These guys are back at the back through here. which means I could actually smash them by putting in small units on either side. And again, I don't want to specialize yet. We're down to 3,900, but it's a long game, so we just got to wait for this to go down to 0. So we lost a bit there. These got beaten up by these guys, so I need to somehow take these away from the picture. So let's just go in and unlock some crawlers. So we'll just do a whole range of different things initially, just to get things sort of established. So we're going to go to these light bots. Now initially, there we go, we've got them in there, so we'll just go and grab, I'm just going to go into here and going to go and open up the mass recruitment. It allows me to get one more unit. And so I'm going to do that. That gives me 300. So I can get 2 of those, plus another Fang unit. So let's go and do that, and then we'll get the Fang unit as well. Okay, so the Fangs we saw were reasonably good on the other side over here. Let's move these across. We need to keep some of these in front of the group that's actually back over this other side. In fact, I'll set that one up just in front to try to protect this unit here a little bit more. Okay, so once they're placed, I can still place them in this round, but I can't go back to these and try to place them. So I can only place the ones that were placed there initially. Now I'm going to on the round 2 and beyond, you can actually go and place them anywhere you like. So let's go and place them in here and have them take control of these guys a little bit. Now the first round they come in, they're very, very slow, but subsequent rounds are going to be nice and fast. So we'll do that on either side, because that's just going to upset them. These are cheap and nasty, but that's going to then keep them out of the picture for a little while the rest of our units then try to get rid of these units. So we'll now see if these, the arc lights, now get a free rein to then take out these units, which is what we brought the arc lights in for. Hope that makes sense. So we've now sort of just introducing unit by unit. We're not specializing at all. So the AI doesn't have a chance to really start to counter our specialization yet. So up we go again. So these will then come in and, yep, see how we've gone in. Now they've destroyed us with their own units. That's delayed them enough for these guys to then start to sort of rattle through everything in here. And this is the arc light is now working. We've protected these pretty well. And that's all we need to do, is just because it's only the small units that can actually sort of do anything. Now they've brought in a lot more Fang units, so they're now specialising in Fang units, which means we need more arc lights if we can somehow survive these. They're going to win this one as well because of the Fang units, not because of the other ones. There we go. And that's got it there. So again, a lot of small units now. So we're down to 3,300 units. Doesn't matter, it's not over yet. Now the melting point will take out pretty well any sort of like medium or large bot. Now they haven't brought large bots in yet. I can mass produce the Phoenix in through here, so decrease the recruitment cost of Phoenix by 100. Now I do want to do this because this is what we want to be doing now. So let's go and grab that one. That means we can sort of get them cheaper now. So we're going to go and bring them in. We've now got the extra 50. This is where we're going to start to get more points. Now they've brought in a group of Fangs right on the side, unfortunately, that then sort of countered our units. So we really did have a problem. We did okay with that one through there eventually. It did take us a bit of time. So let's go across, and arc lights aren't going to really help us much unless I bring them up the back in through here. But I don't want the fights really to be over here. I want them to be sort of more central. I think that what we might do is we might wait until they bring in a big unit, and then we can sort of... I need to still deal with these. I need to still deal with those, and so that's going to mean probably more of these. So let's just go in and bring in more Phoenixes. So we'll bring these in. It's still got 450 worth. Let's just go back into here and go and buy, so we can actually we'll go to the increase the number of units that can be purchased by one. Just go and buy that one in. and we'll go and get another of the phoenixes. So we are now declaring we're specializing in phoenixes. So it's probably not the best thing for us to do. And let's just keep these all now back up through with these. I'll get them to sweep through one side of the map and then through the other side. And this one here can level up, so we'll actually do the upgrade. Now I've still got 250. I'm thinking of actually upgrading these, or I could upgrade my phoenixes. I've only got 250 left. I can actually make an energy shield. This absorbs damage equal to the unit's HP and can block at least one instance of damage. That would be great to keep these, and this applies to all of the phoenixes that we have on the map. Now that we're specialising, we might as well invest in those, but we still actually have a lot of Fang units. Actually, that costs a bit too much. Let's go this way. So they've now all got energy shields. So we're now declaring to the AI. That's the way that we're going to be going. So there'll still be this one. These were a bit of a waste. We lost 200 because of bringing those in, essentially. We've still got 50 points, which means we can actually pop in a sentry missile. Let's go, and we sort of end up struggling a little bit in here. Let's just go and throw one in this side. And what this is going to do is it's going to target a group of units from the other, like as they sort of get into the range of the actual missile. Oh, they're going in with a bomb. Okay, that's done a lot of damage there. So we wiped out that little group. They wiped out most of our groups back into here. Come on, we need the arc light to protect the phoenixes. Now they've brought in a different type of unit in through here. That's solid steel balls. They've also got arc lights as well. And the arc lights only are ground only as well. So this is why the phoenixes ultimately, if we can get rid of the small units, we're going to do okay. So we're going to win this one because of our phoenixes. They're now going to need to counter what we've got. So now we finally win our first round. The trouble is that the guys behind are actually ripping through us. There we go, I've taken out another one of those. Here comes another arc light. So we didn't get very many points with this one, but a few. All right, so down to 3,800. We're now 3,396. So at the moment, this is actually now working for us. Okay, so we can go with like getting the arc lights leveled up if we wanted to. Mass produce the rhino, so decrease the recruitment cost of rhinos by 100, but decreases rhino attack by 30. I don't know if I would need a rhino. The rhinos are great if they bring in large bots, and they haven't really done that yet. Deployment increases the number of deployable units per round to 3. I'm thinking we go this way because we're not deploying large bots at this point in time. So let's go that way. It would be great to do it, but there's nothing yet that's really, although another flying unit, because they've got so many ground units, another flying unit would be good. I think I might invest in that. So we've got 800 points to spend. Now we can sort of see again, they've got a lot of more upgrades that are going to be coming with their bots. So I've got an upgrade in through here, which I'll take. I'll just get these arc lights. So I've only got the 2 arc lights. No upgrades through any of these. But we can go and get more of these. Now this is the launcher. This attack interval is reduced by 50% and the range is reduced by 25 meters. Range enhancement, increase the range by 40. That would be very, very cool. Quantum reassembly. The cockpit of a destroyed Phoenix will follow behind the nearest allied Phoenix and will be fully restored in 20 seconds. This effect can only be triggered 2 times per battle. I might go that way actually, just to try to keep them with survivability. So that's going to take up 500, which leaves me with 250. I can get then 2 of the Phoenixes. Let's do that. That gives me 2 more Phoenixes that I can bring in this round. So now we are really declaring our specialization, which is not a great thing. If they start to bring in, they can start to bring in units that can then target us. And they almost got us that last round, but not quite. Let's bring these in behind. Again, I just want to keep the group all bunched in together pretty much. Okay, we've still got 50, so we'll do the same deal in through here again. Just go and try to take out one group. Probably in the middle here. Although, yeah, no, I'll do it from the middle. Okay, there we go. So we'll end our deployment in here. So these are now much, much stronger than what they were. There we go, I've taken out a group in the middle. These should be able to take out that group. Yeah, so this is good. The extra range is, well, the extra power that we actually have in there is working really, really well. Most of these are ground-based. We're going to lose this side. They've brought one in on the side, like what we did. We're going to get their base, they're going to get our other base. Now they slow down. And the Phoenixes are now all together. But these are now, they now know what we're specialising in. Now 20 seconds later these are going to come back to life again. Now, they've slowed us down, but that's, we've got like a lot of points in here. So it's not about killing the bases, that just slows down your units. And we come back through. And job done. So we've got it down to 2,300 points now. Okay, order bombardment. Launch 15 guided missiles, tank production line. So giant units only, produces two sledgehammer tanks every 13 seconds. So if we went with a giant unit, we're now getting good money. Mobilised battleships. So summons an overlord battleship to attack your enemies. There's a cooldown every 3 rounds. So it's only once, like we could do it one round and then it'll sort of be the next round in through there. Incendiary bombs, so fires multiple incendiary bombs in a straight line to form a wall of fire that deals a lot of damage. This is great if you've got like a lot of low range units that you need to get rid of. And we sort of have that actually. These come every 3 rounds, but this can be actually equipped on one of our units, and I think we might do that. Let's go with that one there. We've got 850 to spend. Let's unlock one of our giant units. And this one here, just have a look. So, yeah, it can only be equipped by a giant unit. So I'm going to go and get another flying giant unit. So the giant units are sort of down along the bottom here. And so I'm going to go and grab an overlord. You can see they're giant aircraft. It cost me nothing to unlock it, because I think we've got specialisation for something like that, I think at one point. So we can grab that one for 400. In fact, I can get 2 of those, which will then enhance what we're doing. Now I can actually upgrade 2 of these units, but I think I'm just going to go with 2 overlords. These are giant mechs, and I'm going to have these also stand back. Now we do actually have different units coming back in from the other side over here that have also leveled up. So we're going to send one of them back across to deal with those. And I'm going to, I'm just going to go into this side here and place that onto that one there. I'm going to keep this one in behind the other units over here and move this one into this other side just to sort of deal with these other units. I'll go that way because they can target these big ships. Let's just go that side. And so this one in through here is just an arc light. Can't target the big ship. These here can. These Fang units can. So we've only got 50 points left. Let's go and deal with those Fangs, I think, straight away. There's nothing on that side. So that will just blow them up. That won't be a problem to us. All right, no more points. Let's end our deployment in here. They've brought in some big bots, and these are incredibly strong. And the arc lights aren't really good at doing this, so these are hacker units. They're bringing these other ones back now, but our middle group here, we should absolutely dominate in through this other side. They've brought that down, but our big weapon here is still working, although this will then be able to take the big one down. Now that's why I didn't put the other one that's generating these tank units. So I want these tank units to keep on spawning, with this one keeping as much control as possible. So we've got a lot of the phoenixes coming through. Looks like we lost that one. Yeah, wow. Okay, they did really, really well. Round 6, they got us there. Now we don't want to bring in anything else too big. Okay, starting from the next round, obtain 150 additional supplies per round. And we've got super heavy armor. The hit points of units equipped with this item is increased by 200%. Let's do that on one of the others. We can't equip it there, but we can equip it on this one. And we need to now sort of get these guys, these hacker bots, as much as we can. Now we do actually have upgrades. I think I better do these upgrades. They're not really getting involved. They are a little bit. Let's just do it. All these phoenixes. If that's all we do, I think that we'll do it. So we've all leveled up now. Now that still gives me, this one here I won't worry too much about, although again it's not bad. I can get armor replacement there. No, it's not really worth it with these. I've only got 150 points left over. These are now costing me 700 to bring these in. Can't really do anything else with those. Can't afford anything else with those. So it really is only this armor enhancement, or bringing in a couple more of the small bots. So let's just get the crawlers, and we'll get the crawlers in against these. I can get one of those plus another missile again. I'm going to take out those units. If I just right click, I can then sort of have them go straight there. All right, so they'll just take those out. That will be these will take those out fairly quickly, but we may be able to do some damage here against the Stormcallers, which are the rocket launchers. So it's getting fairly complex with the way it's sort of working. Now they did end up taking us out over here, and you can see they've got a lot more level ups coming in their way as well. So we're now still winning with the amount of points that we actually have, but we need to just keep on going. So let's just see how we go this turn. Yeah, we chomped through those, which is good. Let's just see what's happening over this other side. They've brought in a big unit that can do a lot of damage. Now I think we're going to get him. Yep, got him, that's great. So the phoenixes are still working their way through. It's these guys here that are ripping through my phoenixes. This one here is going to rip around. Now we should actually have much more survivability with this big unit. Yeah, we do. So we're going to do okay there. We're going to rip this round actually. Absolutely rip it. We've taken that out, but they can't really compete against our other units. Yeah, this is worth a lot of points to us. We get 400 each for those. That's basically 800 plus all the other points. We may win the round next round. We're down to 560. Yeah, we're doing very, very well here. Now, what do we have? Senior Attack Specialist. Increase the attack of all units by 30%. Yep, that sounds good. Because we want to sort of do the level ups, this upgrade. I might, because I've got 2 of these, actually I can upgrade that one as well. What have we got there? We've got Jump Drive, increase the Overlord's movement speed. We've got the produces 4 Wasps to join the battle every 28 seconds. That would be very, very useful for us. Wasp is another type of aircraft. Decreases the Overlord's attack interval by 50% and range by... that would be good as well. All of these are great. Overlord Artillery. Install 2 ground-only cannons, which have a range of 120 for the Overlord. The cannons attack every... I might do that one because that's going to really do a lot of damage against those ground units. We'll get this one leveled up as well. So we've still got 500 points. And I need to now deal with these. So we need to now just get a couple of the small crawler units to sort of dominate what's happening back over here. Although we did well with that one. Let's get both of those in there. These can upgrade. just do the basic upgrades into here. I won't worry about upgrading these arc lights. They're really not what we need. So let's keep these occupied. Just middle click. Now they're going to suffer a little bit that way. Let's just keep these back over this other side as well. Yep, okay, we've still got 200 points. Now these can upgrade. Got 150 points left over. I can still bring in another unit as well, actually. So let's bring in another of the crawlers or the phoenixes. Maybe another phoenix, because they're still focusing so heavily on the ground units. And we do actually have all of these leveled up, so we'll just go that way. So they'll go off and sort of deal with some of these other units. We've still got another one of these. Let's just go and do another attack back in through here again. That was good to wipe all those things out as fast as possible. Even though we lose this area, it will be interesting to see how we go. So it's a real cat and mouse sort of game. I mean, we haven't really sort of done anything with these ones at the back. They're just there to waste time. But there's so much involved in this game. Let's just end it. So they're going to go in. Now these can only target one unit at a time, which makes them susceptible. They're all going to be focused on these individual little units. And that's going to give these units a chance to then get rid of the big giant bots. So we're going to then be able to deal with those piecemeals, essentially. These guys are doing well. We've wiped out all of those. We're now doing well in crossing here again. So right across the battlefield, we've sort of got things going where we're dominating again. Now, if we can keep the two big units alive, we're going to do very, very well. Which we will, and that will win the game for us, ultimately. And they've wiped out all of our phoenixes, but we've still got the big guy. And he's bringing in the tank units as well. There we go, got rid of that one, got rid of that one. There we go. Under 0 points, so we're now into the negatives, and we win. So that's how the game is played. In that one, they didn't counter our phoenixes. What they could have done, what they did do was they sort of did it with those big, large, I didn't show what they were, but with the ones with the big beam weapons, they're giant bots. But we just countered them by bringing in lots of small bots because they can only focus on one bot at a time. So anyway, we can save the replay and then sort of reanalyze things, but I won't do that. Maybe I'll just show you that, and I'll just go to the back end of the game. So if I save the replay, it then gets saved. If I return to the lobby, I can then just go back into replays, and I'll pause when we do this. I'll just go back and click on that one through there. But that was a good example of how we sort of, like, we don't have to panic about losing initially anything in through there. So this was today. Yep, we'll watch the replay. Now, unfortunately, it's very hard to skip forward in the replay. So it just goes through. It'll go through all of the time that was spent farting about while the choices were then made. I can't do much about that, so I'm just going to pause now until they get into where they need to be. Right, so let's just work through this one. This is now the replay. Now the replay, I really hope that they get sort of better controls with this one. You can go up to 2 times speed or down to 0 speed. You can't reverse. So as we go through things, I'll be pausing and quickly sort of going through things. But I really hope that they do bring in better controls to be able to. I had to wade through the whole game at double speed to get to where we are, including the buying process. So there's a lot of things they could certainly do to improve that, which like it's an early access game at this stage. There's still a lot of things happening, but you can see there that we know that they've got 2 of these large bots. These are melting points. These are giant anti-unit bots. So these are very good at attacking larger units and including like Phoenix aircraft. But these would be great against the overlords. So they're coming in on the side. They've also then brought in with them more steel balls, so they've got like a lot of steel balls in amongst where they actually are. In fact, they've used a special card to move the steel balls from there. They've kept the steel balls in that one, so they've kept them over there, but they've brought this group down to join in with this side attack to try to get quicker in against against our command centre back in through this other side. We've got this little group of units back in through this side. I think we bring another one into the corner there just to try to help take these out fairly quickly, just so the Phoenixes get a clear run at them as well. Now, this is the last turn. You can see they've got 560 points left over. And so our Phoenixes are what we're specialised in this particular battle in the end. They do get like a lot of points. They've got 2,000 points. So they must get double the points that we sort of tend to get. We've got 200 points left over at this point in time, I think. But they started certainly at, this is round 7 and at round, yeah, so they've essentially got like a heap of points that they can then go and spend. I don't think we had anywhere near that much, but we are playing on hard mode, so that's all okay. Let's just go through and then we'll just pick out the individual attacks. Now, there's also got like their hacker bots back and through here. Again, you can hover over to see exactly what they do and sort of how they operate. And you know what their special abilities are if they've got any. This one here will possibly be leveled up. It's already got the armor enhancement with the arc light. The arc light are designed to go up against these small units. I'll just let it play out at slow speed. Let's just go to say 50% speed at 0.5. It's just going to count down 2 seconds, 1 second, and then we're into it. They didn't add anything else there, but they did actually add more units back over this other side. So our small units then sort of race forward, and they can only attack one at a time. See how these guys are only attacking a single unit, which slows them down, and then we can attack them with our other craft. So the flying craft are now coming back through to attack the big units because they were closest, which means that they're very ineffective against, you know, they cost a lot, and we've been able to destroy them very quickly just with our base units. They're brought into their own tanks, the sledgehammer tanks. In the middle of the map, we've then got our units coming through. These are effective against our units, but we do actually have an arc light there to try to take them out. And so the arc light's trying to destroy those. This one's now in the meantime destroyed everything on the other side, and then we've got steel balls which can't impact these at all. So it's only really these Fang units that are the problem, and they've got another big, large melting pot at the back there. But by the time that gets involved, it's not going to matter much. The steel balls are great against the things like the arc lights, but not against much else. So we've pretty much now wiped out most of what's over here. This unit here does cause us a lot of drama. You can see we've already lost a lot of our units in through this side. We're being smashed this way. These can actually attack us. So they wipe out this whole group of Phoenixes, and then eventually sort of come back across. On the other hand, we then have other units now. Now this one again is it can only tackle one small unit at a time. So we end up losing most of our Phoenixes except for this central group. We've lost now that whole group, and now this thing's occupied. So it's still got like most of its hit points left. This thing's moving in to go up against this large unit. Again, unit for unit, that's incredibly strong. And then we've taken it out with our large flying, like our large, what are they called? The Overlords. And then that's the game. We then sort of, all of these units then go back and sort of we end up with the negative points as they're all sort of allocated. Anyway, guys, I thought I'd just show this game because it's a pretty amazing strategy game just with the way that each round rolls on. The game mechanics are awesome. And I've just had so much fun with it. I'm so surprised at just how much finesse there is and how much balance there is in the actual game itself. And there's so many different strategies. Be very careful when you look up videos about how to do like a rush with a particular type of unit, because there is definitely going to be a counter for everything you see. And I think the important thing here is to just wait and see when you see a pattern and then sort of go into it and try to sort of then either counter the pattern or sort of maximize a strength that you've got. Now, I thought I'd be countering different sorts of patterns in this instance, but in the end I did just go with trying to then maximize my Phoenixes, but I didn't worry about it at the start. Only towards the end where I then just focused on flying units because they had focused so heavily on ground units. So anyway, I hope that helps if you think about getting the game. And on hard mode, certainly the AI does get like a lot of extra points to go and spend, and so we have to sort of work pretty hard to counter everything we see. Anyway, guys, going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. A special thank you to my Patreons and anyone who supports the channel through getting merchandise or any of the other bits and pieces that are available in the description down below. Fairly long video, but anyway, hope it helps. Thanks for watching.